Yo, where you been? It's season 2 of We Three Bros podcast. What's up, Joseph?
It is me, Joseph, everybody, aka the Peacebreaker with the Judo Disaster, Derek. Derek, welcome to the podcast, man. I say welcome to you like you haven't been here before. It's your very first time.
Who's this
Season
guy?
2. Who is this guy? It's been a minute, man. It's good to be back. Glad to be here for season 2, man. I know we got plenty of topics, a bunch of things happening since the last time you and I spoke. But first, let's talk about your vacation, man. How was your vacation? How was Thailand? This man flew across the world, ended up in Thailand for some reason, was telling me Merry Christmas the day before Christmas. I don't know. He was time traveling apparently. I don't know what was going on. Derek, man, tell us how was Thailand, man? What were some things that you got to do? Some food you got to eat? Did you get in trouble and get arrested and end up, with a monkey? And trying to find your little brother who was supposed to graduate the next day from Stanford University. I think I'm butchering.
Ended up with a monk.
yeah, ended up with a monk. Butchering the synopsis of The Hangover Part 2. But hey, any of that happened to you in Thailand?
Yeah, was nearly not as crazy as that. Nowhere near that much crazy happened. It was pretty tame, actually.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we so when we got there, with the first night, we had to spend the night in like a specific hotel. They have like contracts with the government, so you can so from the airport, like no one, like you can't have family come pick you up, nothing like that. So the hotel has somebody there pick you up. They take you like to a hospital close to the hotel, and you go through the drive-through, and they do the whole swab thing, and then they take you straight to the hotel. And then you have to stay in your room until the hotel gets the results from the hospital before you can clear the hotel.
Damn, okay.
So we get there. It's me and Petra and her sister. And right off the bat, man, their idea of a luxury car was a Toyota Camry. So
hey, don't you dare, Derek.
We're staying in a 5-star Marriott. They sent a Toyota Camry to pick 3 of us up with all our luggage. First off, all 3 of us and our luggage ain't gonna fit in this car.
No.
So the girls went ahead with their purses or whatever, and so I'm stuck behind with all the suitcases.
Such a gentleman.
So I gotta wait for the guy from the hotel that does the coordination when people, between the gate and getting you in the taxi or the limo or whatever, their luxury car. So I'm waiting for another extra 10, 15 minutes. Guy pulls up, some old guy, and the driver, no English. Like, this dude's probably 90 years old and no English. And I know no Thai.
That's wonderful. That makes me happy.
So they shove all the shit in the car, throw me in the back seat, and off we go, leaving the airport. And as we're driving out, there's cars lined up, and vans, big vans, where all of us would have fit, and all our luggage would have fit in one trip. One car.
But the van
and at the end is a 7 Series BMW, and I'm like, that's the luxury car. Why am I in this Toyota Camry?
No.
So we get on the highway. Dude's barely doing the speed limit.
Wait, you remember the episode of Family Guy where there's the devil and super devil? That was probably the super luxury car. That's what it is. Right. You didn't meet that tier.
I'll expand on that later.
Okay, good. Keep going. So you're on the freeway.
On the freeway, this dude's barely doing the speed limit, and he's kind of straddling lanes. This dude doesn't want to pick a lane, and luckily there's not much traffic. The occasional vehicle. They drive on the opposite side. I don't know if you knew that. Kind of like the UK and Australia and Japan. So as we're going down the highway, I see a bunch of lights on the other side. There was a car accident on the other side that we drove past. So we're going, and then our lane is ending, and there's a big ass 18-wheeler next to us. And it's my guy's I'm not giving up my spot. And he cuts this tractor trailer off. All of a sudden you're I'm this guy's gonna kill me before we even get to the damn hospital. Good thing he's taking me to a hospital. So it's and now we've been driving for so long. It was a good 45-minute drive. like I have to go to the bathroom now. So
Of course.
I'm like in the back, like holding it, like, and this guy's doing like the speed limit, like we get off the highway, we're on the surface streets, and a lot of their like some of not all, but a lot of their like surface streets, like as you get into neighborhoods, have speed bumps, like just out of the blue speed bumps.
Okay.
So now we're going over speed bumps, and I'm in the back, like I'm doing the pee pee
Oh
dance in the back because we're hitting speed
no.
bumps now,
Every time, oh, you feel it. You feel those speed bumps too.
right?
Oh man.
So then we finally get to the hospital. He pulls up. Um, they have there's a nurse comes out. He rolls down the window, and then she goes and gets another nurse. So this nurse is in like scrubs.
Mhm.
The other nurse comes out, and she's in like a biohazard suit
Oh
to do my
shit.
swab. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but you're standing next to someone in just scrubs. Like this doesn't make no damn sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they do the test. We back out of there, and then he gets me to the hotel, and we get up there, and not even like 24 hours later, they have our results, and they're like, "You're free to leave." So,
Oh, nice.
we packed up our crap, and we went to the family's house. Um, so I'm gonna get back to where you were talking about the supercar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when we go to the malls and stuff, they have the normal parking, and then they have supercar parking. So we used it once because her cousin drives a modified 5 Series that's been modded to an M5.
Okay.
So their supercar parking is like BMWs, Mercedes. There was even like a Ford SUV, like a new one,
Okay. Okay.
and
They're
like
nice.
a
They're
Porsche,
nice.
the EV Porsche.
Mhm.
The So that's what they consider their supercars. Like we had a BMW and we're
Oh.
parking in the supercar spot, and I'm like, this isn't a supercar. I mean, it's a nice car,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's not a
yeah.
supercar.
For
Like
sure.
when you think of supercar, you think of what like a Lamborghini,
Yeah, Ferrari.
Ferrari,
Like
McLaren,
some of the
Bugatti.
Audis and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, the Audi
Bugatti.
R8, or maybe like the M8 BMW,
Or even
but
the
not
M8.
like a
Yeah.
5 Series BMW. And then oh my gosh, the prices for the cars over there. So her other cousin has a brand new 2 Series, and man, when she told us the price and we converted it to US dollars, she could have bought 3 of those same cars in the US for the price she paid for one over there.
Oh, well, you said that Ford, and I was like, I could only imagine how much that Ford vehicle costs
Well,
because, like,
it's not like a Mustang, or like you see like what's their sedan now, the Ford
a Ford
sedan,
Fusion.
something like that. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
Ford SUV, and it wasn't an Explorer. It's called like Everest or something like that,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it looks different. The body's like narrower, and a little bit longer, I want to say, but so it doesn't look like how our Explorers or Expeditions look or anything like that. Mostly you see Mostly you see mopeds or like little motorcycles.
Yeah.
And then after that, you see the Toyota Hilux trucks, like
Okay.
the small pickup truck from Toyota that you see in like insurgencies. You see like 50 cal strapped to the top of them.
I hate that you're using that example, but I 100% know what you're talking about. Sadly
Yeah.
enough, I know 100% what you're talking
Like
about.
if you've seen Team America World Police and you remember, like that's basically what he was on the back of.
Hey, if
uh,
people are listening and not watching, Derek just threw up his hands in the air like he just doesn't care. So if you didn't know what he was doing right there, that's what he was doing.
yeah. So the first night we spent in the hotel at the Marriott, and then we went to the family's house, and we spent the second night there, and then we all loaded into a van, like
Yeah,
half the family, and we drove down to one side. So Bangkok's at the top of like the bay. So
yeah.
on each side is like 2 resort cities on either side. So we rode down to one side for like 3 days or something like that, 2 nights,
Hmm.
and we stayed in a pretty nice resort hotel. Had like a rooftop pool and everything. The water was mad cold. Like it was like 80,
Oh
80, 90
no.
during the day
Yeah.
outside, but man, we went to the rooftop pool, and it was only like 6 o'clock in the evening. It was dark already, but I tucked my toe in that thing, and I was like, nope. But like her cousins went and got in, and I was like, good for you, good on you. And even one of her aunts, and I'm like, I'm not getting in that cold
You're-
ass water. Like I'm out.
Damn.
I will sit on the side and watch you guys swim, but I'm not getting in that damn water.
So what you're telling me is you would never do the polar plunge.
Probably not. Like that cold water. I was like, hell no.
He's like, I'd rather walk across a hot pile of coals or something like that.
Yeah, and I did that, so I would rather do that than get in cold ice water.
I feel that. I can respect that.
So we were there for a few days. That's where we spent Christmas. We had her grandma with us and a bunch of the aunts and all. Well, mostly aunts. I don't think any of the uncles came. Well, one of the uncles came, I think, and then a bunch of the cousins. Um, and then we went back to Bangkok. But like on the way there, we would stop like wherever we went. We would stop at like temples on the way there or on the way back. So one of the
Oh,
temples we went to, um, they have like these wax symbols, and it corresponds with the day you were born. Remember, I sent you a text asking you what day you were born,
yeah.
because a lot of stuff doesn't have to do with like you know how we have the horoscope here, and it goes with like your birth, like that time period, like
The
this month,
entire month or
this date
something
to
like
this
that. Yeah,
date,
yeah,
you're a
yeah.
Cancer or you're a whatever. Like theirs is on the day. Like if you're born on a certain day, you're this, and this, and has a color that corresponds with it. So you get this like wax thing that corresponds with the day that you were born, and then
Yeah.
you make like a wish for it with it or whatever, um, and then you put it in this hot thing that melts it, and
Mhm.
then it pours it into this giant canister that's going to make giant candles that they use in the temples to burn.
Dude,
So
that's
we all did that,
awesome.
and then we went into the temple. And this particular temple, like all the temples are different. Like you're not going to find any that are the same. Like they might have the same like statues or deities in them, but they're not like built the same. They, the exterior wise, they might look the same, but they all have something different, like that stands
Yeah.
out from the other ones. So this one, like in the middle of it, had this little underneath part where you had to walk underneath, but it's like mad small. Like I had to crouch all the way down to get underneath. So for this one, you have to walk around and go underneath that tunnel 9 different times. So we all started doing it, and like half the family gave up like halfway through. But me, Petra, one of her younger cousins, and the grandma did
Grandma.
all nine. Yeah, grandma
Grandma. Oh
did
shit.
all
Okay.
nine. And then like some random couple were behind us doing it too. Like they weren't, part of us. They were just like
And
they
this
just
is
happened
kind
to
of
be there at the
like
same time.
it's like a
Huh.
symbolic like
Yeah.
okay, like a symbolic kind of like prayer, kind of like
Yeah. So when you go
ritual.
underneath, you have to like think like all these positive things, and this is what you want to happen in the future and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
So after we got done with the ninth one, and then you go inside the temple, and then you go in front of the Buddhas or whatever they have in there, and then you do your other wishes or whatever, your other like um, sayings for the future. But when we were leaving, the other couple was finishing their ninth thing, and the grandma's like, "Did you guys go inside?" And they're like, "No." And they're like, "She's like, you got to go inside now." It was like a random strange couple.
Yeah, yeah. She was just like, you gotta go inside now. You
Yeah,
go
she's like, "Yep." Now you can't. You're not done yet. Go inside.
inside.
It was mad funny.
Oh man, I gotta love grandmas. Did you like? She's. I mean, obviously, she was probably wasn't talking to them in English, right? Like she was probably
Yeah, it
talking
was
to
in
them in.
Thai, but
It was
like
in
her
Thai, and she,
cousin Petro translated what she said
she's sitting
basically.
there laughing.
Yeah, it was mad funny.
Like, look at this American laughing. What's wrong with him?
So
Damn.
yeah, and then so we were back in Thailand or in Bangkok for a couple of days, and then we went to the other side of the bay to a different resort, and we stopped at a different temple on the way down there, and it was in like a cave, and like the Buddha was carved into like the inside of the cave.
Yeah.
And this one, it was huge. And for this one, like he was sitting on a seat, and everything's carved out of the stone inside the cave. But there was a
Yeah.
gap between like the backs of his legs and like the seat he was on. So for this one, you had to go through that little gap underneath his legs like three
Yeah.
times, and it was mad small. Like I don't know how I fit. Like I was like squeezing through there, like all mad, like crazy, like crazy poses and stuff to get through this little tiny space. Like it was like like a box I had to squeeze through basically.
You're pretty much
And
like
like the whole time, like the aunts and uncles were back there watching me do.
they do it too, or it was just you?
Yeah, everyone did it.
Okay.
So yeah, it was interesting to see all this. And then like when we were leaving, the lady that like is the caretaker of that one particular one, she had a slingshot, and I'm like, why she got a slingshot? So I asked when we got down to the road, I was like, why she got a slingshot? And they're like, because the monkeys and the dogs come around, and they like try to like mess with like her and the stuff in there. So she like, bing bing with the slingshot.
Oh no way!
Yeah.
She was prepared. She came
Right.
strapped. She was strapped.
And then we got down to the road where our van was, and I looked down towards the end of the road, and I could see the monkeys in the street, like just chilling down there waiting.
Dude, no. You know they fuck with people too.
Well, we went to an outdoor
Uh-oh.
zoo while we were there, and it was like one where you can rent golf. You can either walk or you can rent golf carts and drive through because it's a big area.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we all rented golf carts to drive through, and there's just random monkeys just chilling. So the first stop we
No.
went to were the hippopotamus, and you have to walk across like this big wooden like thing that went down towards the river, and the hippopotamus were swimming around in the river. The monkeys are all over, like in the trees, on the railing, on the walking path,
So if they
and
wanted
there
like
was
fucking jump down from the tree and be like, "Hey, what's up?" and tug on your shirt, they could.
yeah. If you had something they wanted
Oh,
it, they're taking it. So
oh, fuck.
I had my gimbal thing with my phone on it, and I'm filming as we're walking around. And on the way back, I was bringing up the rear because I was back there filming, and her cousin waited for me, and we got towards like the main platform, and there was a monkey chilling there on the ground eating French fries, and I'm like, so I'm filming, and I'm like, can I have some French fries? And you can see my hand reach in from the camera, and he opens his mouth, these big ass fangs come out, and I'm like, oh, I guess that's a no.
Oh, fuck. No, man. No.
Yeah, man, the monkeys were everywhere.
You'd have been
we
monkey
went
monkey
we
food.
did another stop, in the same zoo to go to, like, they had it divided into zones, and they had an Australia area where they had like kangaroos and koalas and all that stuff. So me and her cousin and one of the other girls and the aunt and the cousin's mom went to that one. Everyone else went off on their own to go see other stuff. So we had to park at the top of this hill and walk all the way down, and then we went through the thing. And as we're walking in, there's like a little parking area, and someone had parked their golf cart down there, and they had food in it. And they were
Oh.
the cousins, like, they don't know much English, but I could understand what they were talking about because they were pointing at the cart and they were saying something. I'm like, the monkeys are gonna get their food, and they started laughing, like, yeah. So we went through the little area and we came out and we're on the other side, and one of the monkeys is sitting there in the path, and he's got like a container, and he's trying to get stuff out of it. So then the monkey like grabs whatever he wanted and then takes off. So then we continue walking and we get back to that cart, and there's just stuff everywhere. They ransacked these people's golf cart, and there's like six monkeys sitting in the golf cart, like just mowing down on their food. And then even when we got back to the
No.
top of the hill where our cart was, the cousin had left a water bottle in the thing, and the monkey had stolen the water bottle.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude.
These
Dude.
monkeys they didn't care, man. They were like, nope, that's mine.
That's my shit. They're in the trees eating, like trying to open up bottles of water and shit like
Right.
that. If you had your cell phone out there, left it out there, they probably would take that too.
They probably would have taken my cell phone and be taking selfies, making phone
Oh
calls to the states with it.
no. That
It
or
was crazy to
roast
see, like, and before we went to Thailand this time, because the first time we went and like stopped at this sanctuary with elephants, and I fed elephants, and then the second time we
it's
stopped
just
at a
like
tiger
pets.
thing, and I
It's
took the
like yeah.
pictures with the tigers. So this time I'm like, I want to see monkeys. So like we went to this place, and the monkeys was everywhere.
You didn't touch a monkey though, right?
Nah,
Like
I
they
ain't
didn't.
touching none of them damn
Okay.
monkeys. One of the areas of the zoo had different monkeys, not these wild ones that are out running around. I mean, there were wild monkeys in the zoo,
Yeah,
but they were,
yeah,
from different. So they had the monkey that they use in most of the movies. Like, I don't know what kind of monkey it is.
yeah.
Like that particular species of monkey. He was in
Yeah.
Hangover 2.
Uh,
Ross had the monkey in the Friends TV show.
Kapachu or Kipichu or fuck. Let's see.
Yeah, there was a cage full of those monkeys too.
Yeah, a capuchin.
Yeah, the
Cap.
ones I guess they're like easier to
Capuchin.
train or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep. Capuchin
Yeah,
monkey.
so
So
when
those
I
were
saw
all over
them,
the
I'm
place.
like, "Oh, that's the monkey from Hangover 2." But her cousin was missing. They didn't really understand what I was saying.
Yeah.
But to me, I was like, ah. Oh, and one of the cages had some fat ass raccoons, and I'm like, that's a weird animal to see in the zoo. But I guess I get it. Over here, they don't have raccoons like just chilling in your trash can when you come outside at night. So
Dude.
and they looked like they were like feeding out of the trash can. They were like fat little raccoons. I'm like, I'm like, look at those fat trash pandas.
So okay. Speaking of trash pandas, just real quick, man. I was at work and we were there kind of late one night, and somebody was trying to leave, and the path that you walk out from the front doors and take a right, that's where everybody goes. But when
Yeah.
we opened the door, this fucking raccoon came around this pillar, and we didn't see him. He was hiding behind. And the girl was like, "Oh no! Oh my God! No! No! No!" She ran back inside, and closed the door, and I was like, "What? What happened?" And she's like, "There's a raccoon," and I was just like, "Okay." And so I like open it, and I was trying to like scare him or whatever, like just make loud noises and stuff. So I don't know what she was thinking, but she grabbed like the case of her phone and she threw it at him. But like not at him, not trying to hit him, just trying to scare
Like
him.
close to him so he'd run off.
And like he just kept walking closer to us. Now again, he did look a little mangy, like he looked really skinny, and like dude, he looked like he was about to fuck us up. And she like grabbed a broom and was trying to smack the broom, and so he kept getting on his back legs and like making this noise and started like walking closer to us and shit. And I was just like, yeah, we're just gonna keep this door closed. And I was like, finally, we told her just like, look, just walk around. He's gonna leave, and he eventually left or whatever. But that raccoon was gonna fuck us up. So that's funny that you said they had fat raccoons because I saw a skinny ass raccoon that looked like he'd seen some days, man.
It's just funny that they had raccoons at the zoo, and I'm like, why are there raccoons at this zoo? And then I was like, I guess they don't have raccoons just running around out here. Like it'd be weird if we saw a monkey all of a sudden running around in the states,
Oh, for sure,
but for
absolutely.
them they see monkeys, just running around.
I
So
think
it's the same with raccoons for us and monkeys for them, I guess.
true, very true. Or I'm trying to think of another animal or fucking like something that's like real American, like a corn dog. They just had corn dogs on display as like a food
Right,
or some
just
shit
like
if
at
they
the
sold them.
restaurant, like you can go and get a corn dog from the
A
street
corn,
vendor
yeah. I mean, what the
instead of like a
hell?
bowl of rice and vegetables and whatnot.
Yeah, like just a corn dog or fried Oreos. They had fried Oreos over there, or some shit
Yeah,
like
that'd
that.
be that'd be weird for them.
And you're like,
We
what the
went to
hell?
this one restaurant, and it was on the river, like the main river that goes through Bangkok,
Mhm.
and it's literally built on the river. But next to it was a house, like someone was living there, and their back patio or back porch was like low, like we were above it, so the water wouldn't come. But so anytime, and right next on the other side was like a water taxi thing port. So the water taxi would pull up, people would get on, they go to. So every time they took off, it or came back, it would create waves, and I would watch, and these people's back porch would just be like underwater every time a boat went by, and they had stuff back there, like the kids' toys. They had clothes hanging up on the clothesline. I'm like, I couldn't live like every 5 minutes my stuff's underwater, like, and you like back there, you gotta be back there and sweeping out the water out of your back porch every 5 minutes.
Oh man, that would drive me nuts.
Right,
That would
but
drive me nuts.
I guess they probably lived there so long they're just used to it, like it's just a daily occurrence for them. And then
Yeah,
on the ceiling above us was just like lizards just hanging out, just chilling, all over the place,
like big ass lizards or just like regular.
like probably about like that, like little look like little geckos or something, but
And
they
you were
were
in a
just like
restaurant?
up there chilling. It's an outdoor, like out air,
Oh,
like
I gotcha.
open air restaurant, but it
So,
had like a roof.
so if those lizards fell, they're not gonna
Lizards
fall in
just
your food.
yeah, right near your food. I guess you just eat them.
You're like, it's a
Like
delicacy.
I got some extra food with my food.
Was there anything that you tried this time that you didn't try the first time, or like something that just was like a little different, or do you just kind of
So
stay
I
to
ate
like your
like
like, typical
I'm not
proteins
a
and
I'm not a
vegetables?
fish person. Like I don't like I'll eat
Yeah,
salmon for some reason. Like I'll eat sushi with salmon or tuna, and that I'm cool with that. Or else a fried salmon, more rare.
yeah,
But like any other fish, like get that away from me. I don't want to smell it. I don't want to touch it. I
yeah,
don't want to taste it. Like I don't know what it is. It's just I don't. So we were at one of the restaurants, and a lot of their stuff is seafood based over there. That they're in a bay. They live in a
yeah.
bay, so a lot of this. So I'm sitting next to one of her cousins, and they had this giant fried fish comes out, and it's huge, and everything there is like it's like just like the whole fish, the head, the eye, everything's still
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. It's just pretty
And
standard, right?
yeah, so her cousin cuts me off a piece and puts it on my plate, and I'm like, I guess I got to eat it now. So I ate
I
it,
mean, you can't disrespect them and say no.
right?
Yeah.
And there was some other kind of seafood that I
Did
that I
did it
ate this
taste
time that I
fishy?
didn't eat the first time,
It
but
tastes fishy, didn't it?
uh
It tasted fishy, didn't
oh
it?
yeah, everything tasted fishy.
I was like, oh yeah, you
Um,
look like you lost weight. You're like, yeah, just drink water the entire time. That's all I drink.
I did come back and I was like 10 pounds lighter,
Oh shit.
like dead ass 10 pounds lighter.
He was like, I'm going back to Thailand. Fuck yeah.
Man, if I want to lose weight, I'll just go there for a couple weeks.
I was like, what were you doing?
Yeah,
Starving or
so
just like all the walking that you did?
maybe a little bit of like I didn't eat as like, and it's not just like the food itself because I ate a lot of the like whatever like anytime we order stuff I ate, but like like when it's hot I don't like to eat a lot of food. Like in
Yeah.
the summer here I don't eat a lot of food. Like I'll eat like my portions like shrink a lot because I don't know. It's just like I'm hot already. I don't want to eat hot food and then get more hot. And like a lot, they like to eat a lot of soup over there too. And I'm
Oh
like, it's 90
shit.
degrees, and you're like trying to give me 120-degree soup.
God, I couldn't do it, man. It's like drinking
So
hot
like I
chocolate in
would
the middle
eat,
of the
but I
summer.
wouldn't like the portions wouldn't be as big. And everywhere else portions are smaller anyway than what we eat here in the United States. So
True.
I'm sure that had a lot to do with it.
It's always
And then
fair.
every morning was like rice and like eggs and vegetable and like maybe a meat if you're lucky, but mostly rice and egg and a vegetable. Her
Oh
grandma
shit.
made breakfast almost every morning when we were at the house.
And it was rice, eggs, and a vegetable.
Pretty much.
I'm gonna just switch my diet up to rice, eggs, and vegetables, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was a overall it was a good trip. We spent New Christmas with the family, and then New Year's everyone came over. Um, we had a hard time finding the beer that I wanted, like really any beer. Not
Oh.
because we couldn't find it, but because like the day, like New Year's Eve, we went out to look for some stuff, and we stopped at the grocery store, and they had like a set of hours where in between this hour and this hour you couldn't buy any alcohol, and we fell in between those hours. We're like, so like
Damn.
later on, her mom and one of the uncles went back and got the stuff that we wanted,
Mhm.
and then um and then later on when we like after we ate, we were cracking open beer to pour, and we were pouring it in cups. We weren't just drinking straight out of the bottle. But
Yeah.
the grandma was like, "You're not supposed to drink beer," and like saying it not to me, but like in general, like there's
Yeah.
not supposed to be
Yeah.
any beer in this house or whatever. But all of us, all the younger generation, all the me and all the cousins were all like, sharing beers and everything, and they had like some other Korean rice wine also, so they were drinking that all as
Ooh.
well.
Rice wine's good, man.
And then I introduced like the a bunch of the cousins to Cards Against Humanity on New Year's.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
That was interesting. A good time teaching teaching these all these girls and guys Cards Against Humanity.
And again, I'm assuming they spoke English, right?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't perfect English, but
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
one of the cousins didn't really speak much at all, so we had to explain some of the cards to him. But he got the overall gist of it, and everyone caught on real quick. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like the rounds were flying. We were flying through the rounds. Like we were gonna do best of three. Whoever got the first three black cards won. And then we got it so like someone got it so quick that we had to go to five, and then we went to seven. Like it was like we
Yeah.
were two of the cousins didn't get any at all for some like the whole game didn't get any at all. But at the end when we were done, we're like, and the winners are we, and it was them two because they didn't get any at all, so they both won. Everyone was
Oh,
happy and
nice, man.
everything.
They were like
And then we
honorary
played
winners.
the phone game Heads Up, I think it's called,
I
the
think so.
app. Um
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Heads
yeah,
Up,
yeah.
yeah, it's
The
on Ellen's show.
Yep, yep,
It's like
yep.
charades.
Yeah, yeah, it's
So
a
I
fun
have that
game.
on my phone, so we played a bunch of rounds of that also.
I was like, I think whenever I think you and I played, or not you and I played. I think um when we were coming back from apple picking and stuff, I was playing it back behind the or in the back seat. I
Oh
had the game.
really?
I was playing the game in the back seat. Yeah, yeah. I think one of them was like make a German accent or something like that. So we had to, or like it was like accents or something. Yeah,
I
and you had
remember
to.
we did Cards Against Humanity when we did the apple picking trip.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That
I
was
think
it.
we just the four of us. We played that till like 1 a.m.
It was fun, man. I love that game. I love that game. My friends like they bought like the expansion of the expansion of the expansion, so they have like all the expansions of them, which is
Yeah.
crazy, man. So a lot of fun. It's something that you and I will have to like probably have to play on here. I wonder if we can play on here one of these days or something like
Well,
that.
technically you're supposed to have more than two people because
Oh yeah,
someone's got to be the one that picks the best.
we'll have to get some guests or something, man. And
Yeah.
like I know my friend, I don't know if
Or
you
we
can.
could just do like that. That can be like we can just have like if we have a guest, we can each pick they can pick a topic and then we'll pick a card or they can pick the black card and then we'll each pick the answer card and they have to pick the best one.
I'm down with that. I'm down with that. We'll do that or
So
something
yeah,
like.
the
We'll figure it
overall the
out.
trip was good. It's a long on the flight there,
Uh oh.
literally from New York to Japan, Japan to Bangkok. This there's like this kid's little kid was crying the whole damn way.
Oh no.
And then on the way back from Bangkok to Japan, Japan to New York, someone else, a different couple, and their little kid crying the whole way.
That's tough. Did you sleep at all on the plane?
I did. not like good sleep. Like I
Of
would doze
course.
off for like 30 minutes or 45 or an hour. Probably slept no more than an hour at a time. But I did watch a bunch of movies on the plane.
Like just old movies or just new movies? Or
No, so I watched Venom: Let There Be Carnage.
Mhm.
I watched
You watched
Old.
you watched the after credits?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I watched Old.
Oh,
The
that's
M Night
the
Shyamalan movie.
yep.
Um, what else did I watch? I watched the last Fast and the Furious movie.
Oh shit.
It was on there. It was and I never seen it, so I was like, I might as well watch it.
No, for sure. For sure.
What else did I watch? I watched something else that was new. Crap, I can't remember. I also watched No Time to Die again.
Ooh, I still
Even
need to
though we
watch that.
we, we had seen it right before, in the movie theater.
Mhm.
I was like, I liked it. I'll watch it again.
Did you guys like share headphones to watch movies, or did you just watch it on
No,
your
I
phone?
just whatever ones came in the thing.
Was it like on the screen?
Yeah, each of on the back of the seat was a little screen.
Oh man, so I had all the movies on there.
Yeah, there was something else I watched, and it was a new movie that was still in theaters, I think, or recently in theaters. I can't.
It'll
I
come to you.
can't. Yeah, I did watch last week the new Resident Evil movie.
Oh, that's right. What'd you think?
I actually liked it.
Okay. A
Like
lot better than
it,
like the Mila Jovovich movies, or
way better. They followed the
oh,
source
no
material.
way. Okay.
It looks and feels more like the actual game, like the remastered versions that came out recently,
Mhm.
2 and 3. Almost like set pieces, almost identical. Like the the like the scenes and stuff like that, almost identical to watching the game. So to me, that like to follow the source material more felt like way better than like all the like where the original Resident Evil Mila Jovovich movies like just
Yeah.
went off on like random tangents out to middle of nowhere and like
Mhm. And everyone they would sprinkle in references of
yeah,
like the
yeah,
game. Like they would
basically.
every once
But
in a while
this
they'll
was like
drop somebody.
follow the source material.
Oh shit, man.
So yeah, I would watch it again. I
Did
liked
it
it.
did it leave a cliffhanger so
Oh
for
yeah, it left
possible
it open for another one.
sequels? Okay. Okay.
Definitely
Have we
did.
heard anything, or like have you heard anything about
I
like
haven't heard
possible?
anything.
You haven't. Okay. I didn't know
I
if you did
hope
or
they
didn't.
do.
Okay. If they go in that direction, you are a fan, and you will for
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
like keep
definitely.
watching, like going to the theater possibly and watching them and stuff.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll have to check them out, or have to check that particular movie out.
it's
Um,
on Amazon Prime, but you have to pay for it. I paid for. I was like, you know what? It's cheaper than if I went to the movies and watch it and paid for popcorn and all that stuff. So I'll just
yeah,
watch it and I get to sit on my couch.
no, for sure. Wait, you watch it on your couch or you watch it on the plane?
On my couch.
Oh, okay.
I watched that when I got back.
I was just like, you still paid like probably thousands of dollars to fly and watch the movie. So I was
Right.
like, hey,
Basically, I paid like almost $2,000 to watch or to fly and watch 4 movies in the air.
was it worth it? Maybe not on the plane ride, but hey, the destination is what matters, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That was the
So
fun
yeah, it
part.
was definitely a lot of fun. It was good to like have Petra and her sister like spend time with the cousins because the previous 2 times they didn't get to spend as much time with the cousins. Just because like the first time we went there was the first time they'd been home, both of them in a long time, and the first time I was there, so
Yeah,
they were trying to like make sure that it was stuff that I would think was fun or that I wanted to do. And then the second time we went was for one of the cousins' weddings, so a lot of the focus was on that.
yeah,
So this time it was, they got to spend a lot more time with just the cousins, and one of their cousins had a baby 6 months ago, so we got to see the baby for the first time, and the baby like every time they would give him to me, I would hold him, and all he wanted to do was like chew on my hand, like he would just like grab my hand and like pull it to his. And, babies have that baby strength. He's
yes.
like, I'm like, I'm not gonna like yank my hand away, but I'm like
Trying to
applying
be
pressure, and he's like
gentle.
pulling back, and
You're like
I'm
trying to
like,
be
I guess he's
gentle.
just gonna eat my hand, like whatever. I have no choice in the matter. This kid's just gonna eat my hand.
Their little grip, man, is something else. Like they grip your
Yeah, he has
finger,
like
like
that.
you're just like, oh shit, come on, little
Yeah,
baby.
yeah, yeah, like that little baby grip. Like just like he's like And one of the things I was looking for when I was there is because they have like you can get stuff there that like was previously here in the States, but you can't find it anymore. So I was looking for some of the Transformers figures that I've been collecting, and I everywhere I went, I couldn't find the one I was looking for, but I did see like they had the Optimus Prime, um, Ecto One crossover, Ghostbusters crossover,
Holy
like
shit.
Optimus, the trailer, everything, all white with like all the Ghostbusters stuff on it, and for like way less than I could have bought it for here. But I could tell like someone had like the package had been looked like it was roughed up. And there
Yeah.
was a couple other figures that I saw that I was like, man, that's something that like if I really wanted to, throw it in my luggage and bring it back, I could probably resell it. But I mean, even or just keep it in my collection would be cool.
Yeah.
And they even had like the cool grays that came out over the Christmas time
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
sold out quick here. They had them over there. I could have got them for like $25 more than what I would have paid over here for them.
No
Brand like
shit.
from retail. We might have to start an import business.
Let's do it, Derek. I just shit you, not shit you over there. That was the proper term. Ship you over there, and then you just bring back all the shit. You know, the people
Yeah,
you got places to stay. Like, we'll just do it that way, man.
right.
You do all the business negotiating, and I'll just write up the contracts. It's fine.
Yeah, you just got to resell it. Find the buyers over here in the states.
I got you, man. No problem. Let's make it happen. We're gonna plug We Three Bros
you,
podcast sticker right
you
next
can
to it
clear out a
too.
little section of your store and be like Joseph's Corner, and people can shop from our stuff.
There it is. We'll just throw it
And
in the
then whenever you know you got someone from corporate coming down to inspect, just like cover it up.
Hey, what's that behind that blind over there? Or those that sheet behind there? We're just somebody peed over there.
Yeah, you don't
Somebody
want to see
peed.
what's back there.
You don't see what's back there. Just look away. Look away. Walk around. Walk around. But it sounds like you had a blast, man. It sounds like
Yeah,
yeah,
so
and I think again you went at the proper time, right? Right around the holidays. I don't know if they celebrate Christmas or if they even
so
kind of
they
like.
had mad Christmas decorations in all the malls and everything. The
Okay.
hotels we stayed at had Christmas decorations everywhere.
Oh, so they recognize it, and then the same thing with
Yeah,
New Year's, man. New Year's is the
I mean
same.
they don't. It's not a big deal like it is here, where everyone exchanges gifts and all that stuff. Like none of that happens, but I mean they like to decorate for it and all that stuff.
They at least celebrate the spirit of it in some ways. Maybe not
Yeah,
necessarily like donating gifts and like you said, not donating gifts, but like giving gifts. But it's definitely
yeah,
the visual aspect that's appealing.
yeah, yep,
And then again for New Year's, I think you told me that Thai New Year's is pretty intense, but it
yeah,
probably wasn't
but
the same because like
yeah, not
it's
during
all on the
not
first,
because of
right?
yeah because of everything that's going on. It was really toned down. They didn't
Okay.
like they there wasn't like they have what they call the Asian Times Square, I guess, or Times Square of Asia or whatever in Bangkok. But it's not like they like you. I don't think they had anybody there like in person. Like they had the hosts and everything or the performers that were there in person, but no fan like public or anything there.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure we saw the fireworks from there on the balcony of our house. We could see the fireworks going off and stuff.
Oh, nice. Okay, so at least you can see some, you get to see some fireworks, but no, that's good. I think here
Yeah.
care, but whatever. I think I saw Times Square like online and stuff, and it still was pretty, or not online, like on television and stuff, and it was still pretty crowded with a bunch of people and
Yeah, I
stuff
think they
there. So
allowed like 15,000 people or something like that.
yeah, but at least over there, like it was still pretty. I guess they're pretty strict and protective of the people and stuff. So it's wild
Yeah,
that you have to like go through a hospital and then, or go through a hotel, then a hospital, and then like
yeah.
after you have to remove
And
some
like
rooms.
anytime you go in like any place, they have like the temperature thing set up, and you have to get your temperature taken. And at some of the entrances to some of the malls, they have someone sitting there, and they have like the camera with the that can detect the temperature. So you have someone sitting there watching everyone come in their temperature as
Yeah,
they walk in and everything.
interesting, man.
And some of the places even had like QR codes that you had to scan like for contact tracing. Like so when you walk in, you're supposed to scan the barcode.
Yeah, so to know like
But
if you're
we
there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
People.
but our phones weren't working over there, so we didn't do any of that.
Terrible. The Thai government's gonna call you soon and be like, you need to bring your ass back.
Right. I know it
uh
was you over here spreading the Rona.
no, 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 no. No. It wasn't you. It was the other person. Just blame it on
Yeah,
somebody
the
else.
other white guy.
It was the other. Oh yeah, yeah, we know him. We know him. We'll get him. We'll get him instead. We'll call that guy instead. So he's no he's spreading the road. But no, man, that's great. I'm glad to hear that you got to go over there, have some good time, spend it with her family, and then enjoy yourself, right? So,
Yeah.
you think there's gonna be something like a tradition you guys are gonna try to do, like maybe every other year, every 2 years, maybe every
So I don't
year?
like. So up until now, like it's been every 2 years that we've gone back, and it hasn't always been the same time. So like the first time we went, it was in April. The second time we went, it was like June to July, and then this time, of course, it was December to January. So
Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna like pick like a certain time to do it. Like I wouldn't mind going back in April because that's like their new year, and they do like
Oh,
some cool celebrations.
yeah.
Like they have this huge like it's like a huge water pistol fight, like water guns, water balloons. Like this one
What?
area, you just walk down the street and people are throwing water on you, shooting you with water guns, throwing water balloons. It's crazy. And then before, like even before that, I guess they didn't do it for that year because for some reason I can't remember what it was. But they would do like that powdered colors, and they would so they throw it on you, kind of like how they
Oh,
do in India.
yeah,
So you'd
yeah,
have all this colored powder all over you, plus you'd be soaking wet. But I guess like that year they didn't do it. So I don't know if they're gonna bring that back, but I would love to go back for a Thai New Year and do that again. It was so fun. It was so cool.
Wait,
Like
you got to
there was
experience
like,
it?
huh?
You got to experience it?
Yeah, so that
Oh,
year we went,
shit.
the first time I went was Thai New Year. So we all had water pistols and we're walking down the street just shooting people with water guns, and people are, like they were targeting me because I'm American, of course. So
Of
like,
course, you're different. Yeah,
and yo, it was cold ass water.
yeah. I
But
can
yeah, it was
imagine like
fun.
30 people in a circle around you, and you're just in the middle and trying to fight them off, and they're just like
Yeah, and they're just like
just
just
blasting you with
for
water.
real.
And
Yeah,
you're
so
like,
I
I
wouldn't
get
mind
it,
going
all
back
right.
for Thai New Year again. Maybe next time if we go for Thai New Year, you can come with us so you can see how it is.
I'd be so down, man. You don't have to tell me twice. Just let me know what I gotta do to get ready. I have to
Right.
take some night, sleeping pills or something. I sleep on the plane. Not that I'm scared or anything, just more so just to power through it, man. Because you know how it is.
Yeah.
It's just like you said, you had a kid crying almost the entire time. So it's just that's just would drive me
Yeah, and jet lag is real, man. That like my sleep was messed up, like
nuts.
up almost up until we left, and then we come back, and then so my
Yeah.
sleep's messed up again.
So were you? I mean, again, you were texting me at really weird times. We're not
Yeah,
weird
because we were
times.
12 hours ahead of you.
Oh, okay, so that makes sense. So yeah, you were like, I felt like there were some times where it was like when I was waking up, like it's like 11 o'clock here in the afternoon. So I guess it would be if it, or sorry, 11 o'clock in the morning. So it'd be 11 o'clock at night for you.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay, so I swear there were some times it was like 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. I'm like texting you and shit. You're texting me back. I could have swore. I have to go back and look at my text message
yeah.
times,
If it
but
was probably because I was jet lagged and I just woke up. Like there was like for like since the day we got there until like probably like a week ago. Like I've been waking up at like 3, 4 in the morning, like there and here.
damn. So it's just all messed up, or at least
Yeah,
it was
like
all
the
messed
first
up at the
weekend we came back, like that Sunday, I think we woke up at like 6 in the morning, and like couldn't fall back to like we woke up in like 3 and then fell asleep for a couple more hours and then woke up at like 5 or 6 and
Yeah.
couldn't fall back to sleep. So we're like, well, we might as well get up and go eat breakfast or something.
Oh
So we went
shit.
to like IHOP or whatever.
Got some breakfast and then came back.
Yeah. So we got a mad early jump start on the day, so we got a bunch accomplished, but I was mad tired.
Yeah, I was about to say 4 p.m. comes and you're like, fuck, I'm
Yeah, I'm
I'm
like ready
dead.
to crash again.
You're like, I can't do this. Body's not adjusted to this. I was about to say, like, I was gonna ask you if like that kind of had an effect on you when you first came back.
Yeah, that jet
Like,
lag was
because
mad real. I'm glad I didn't have to go into the office.
oh, you
I
didn't
would
go
have been at my
immediately.
cubicle just knocked out.
Be like, hey, Derek, we noticed that you've been, sleeping all during the day and staying up all night. Is everything okay with you? You're like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm on that Thai time. Like
Yeah. So,
we got after it. But no, man, back to some of the topics. I know there's quite a few things that we wanted to cover, man. I again shared some great stories about Thailand, but there's been some pretty exciting news, or I guess some really really big news that recently happened. I definitely wanted to get some of your thoughts on it. But the Activision
oh,
purchase,
yeah.
right? Microsoft purchased Activision for what was the proper number? What was the number? I think I
Oh, I
typed
don't
it up here
remember
for
what
you.
the purchase price was.
My gosh, I 100%. Oh, $68.7 billion. So Microsoft bought Activision for $68.7 billion, which is bananas because that gives Xbox such an advantage and so many more like just resources within their like pipeline or
Yeah.
just like well or whatever you want to call it. It gives Microsoft and Xbox just so much of advantage for so many different things, right? So just to name some of the games, like top games that Xbox will now own is Diablo, Warcraft, Starcraft, Overwatch, Call of Duty, Crash Bandicoot, The Legend of Spyro, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, right? Those are some of the bigger names. Now, again, there's other games that are kind of fallout, so I just kind of pulled some of those ones that were definitely some of the more popular one. Um, and a lot of the discussion is around the metaverse, right? So Microsoft wanting to kind of get into. I think I read a Bloomberg article that was kind of talking about that, right? And they were discussing that like Microsoft wanting to get into the metaverse, right? Derek, are you familiar with the metaverse?
Nah.
So the metaverse is kind of like it, what it sounded like when reading it, right? It's kind of like augmented reality where you can kind of go from the physical to the digital. So they're just trying to bridge the gap in between making like not
Okay.
necessarily making like a virtual reality, but making it so that you have so many more resources and not resources, but just so many more like attractions, right? I would call them
Mm-hmm.
attractions for the digital realm, right? So like when, for example, they were kind of discussing that like, they are another article I was reading was discussing about like Halo, right? Uh, like Halo or Minecraft, they're their own like metaverse, right? Like hey, the world of Halo, like everything that's within Halo, right, is a metaverse within itself, right?
Yeah.
And like the purchase of the metaverse, or sorry, the purchases of Activision is that Microsoft believes that gaming is going to lead the way for these like metaverses or these like virtual areas or worlds or whatever, and that gaming is already kind of like started to kind of bridge that gap a little bit, and so they think that with these purchasing Activision that it's going to push it forward.
Yeah.
Because like you think about like Minecraft, for example, like that's also a world within a world, right? Like you can
Mm-hmm.
go on there online and you can play. Now again, imagine being able to do that from I'd say an Oculus Rift, but Oculus Rift is owned by Meta. Um, but just using some kind of virtual reality or some kind of
Kind of
device
like what's that movie? Ready Player One.
it's similar to that, yeah, right. Again, Ready Player One it's you can tell like it was very heavy with gaming, but there was so many other aspects, and I think that
Yeah.
using gaming or they're using this purchase to kind of get to that point where it's kind of like Ready Player One, but more use it in like where you can kind of set up social spaces where people can go and kind of go and hang out, right? Like instead of doing a forum or going to a blog where a bunch of people can kind of talk, or go to Reddit where you're just typing up a bunch of stuff, you can put on a headset, go in there and get to say it to a person from a digital world, or
Yeah.
use your character that you created to kind of give. I think one of the examples they gave in that article was like, hey, if your businesses would allow it, that now you can put on that this device, and now you're in the meeting with everybody else. Now you're at a
Yeah.
gaming event with somebody else, a music event with somebody else, and you get to, again, especially in this kind of the times that we're in right now. But also with that is that you can create a character to give presentations within a business,
Yeah.
while you're there in front of other people as well, right? So that was kind of like the direction as to why they purchased it. And they really believe that. Another thing is that they actually got like even though it's 68 billion, right? That's a stupid amount of money. That's actually lower than what the company probably could have been sold. But the reason they said that it sold for a little bit less than what they kind of like, or sold a little bit less than probably what it could have sold at, was because of, and I forgot about this, was all the allegations of the
Oh yeah, all that
misconduct.
mess that was happening
Yeah,
last year.
Activision and stuff. So yeah, I think that Microsoft had the ability. Again, this is within that Bloomberg article where they talk about like they had the ability to kind of discuss, like, kind of negotiate a little bit on the price, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then now with the purchase, also like Xbox now has 30 studios under its belt, like, or sorry, 30 additional studios under its belt now, which again, like I said, gives it so much more power. I did read something today saying that Sony kind of confirmed with Microsoft, and that their contracts with Activision will continue to be held up until the contracts end. Now, whether they'll be extended or how that would look like in the future, it's going to be all dependent on a few things, right? But as of right now, Sony's contract with Activision, because like before they would get some of the content
Yeah.
before, some of the maps and stuff like Call of Duty, for example, or certain like exclusives for just PlayStation before Xbox would get it, or just exclusives that only PlayStation would get if you had that. And I think even the CEO or whatever for Xbox and Microsoft, they've come out and just said they're like, hey, we don't want to tarnish our relationship with Sony. Like we want to keep this relationship open. And I think they understand that like they need, they still need Sony as much as Sony still needs them
Yeah.
in a way, right? Even though I don't think Sony necessarily needs them, but I think they kind of do because again, another article I read, again, this is through IGN. They said that Sony's shares dropped 13% the day after the Activision purchase, so they
Wow.
lost about $20 billion. They lost $20 billion on their share, of shares because of the Activision purchase. I guess some of the shareholders were like, "Holy shit, this is kind of game changer here for Xbox to make, or for Microsoft to make such a purchase of it," and kind of just backed off, right?
Yeah.
Uh, there was another thing. Jeff Keighley. He's kind of a guy who's like the president of like the gaming awards or something like that. He's really well known within like the gaming community and stuff. I remember he tweeted out that the Nintendo's market cap was 53.79 billion, so which is about 15 billion less of the Activision purchase. So like what he was kind of suggesting was like, so like not Sony but like Microsoft could have bought Nintendo if they wanted to. And again, they obviously would
But
have paid.
then Nintendo would have to agree to that sale. Like it's
No,
not
no,
like they'd
for
be like,
sure.
"I'm buying your company. There's nothing you can do."
No, no, for sure. But that, yeah, but I'm just like he was just kind of putting that out there as just like, hey,
Yeah.
not saying that they could have bought it, but he said like, hey, if
They have
Microsoft
the
wanted
capital
to,
to buy it.
they had the ability to purchase it if they wanted to. But again, like you said, I don't think Nintendo would have sold. But
Yeah.
also the even though like Activision has made the purchase, it hasn't gone through yet. Like I still think
Yeah.
that it's
It
I think
has to
it's early
pass like
days.
all regulations and all that stuff.
Absolutely, and
FCC or whatever. Not, probably not FCC, but
I know Supreme Court justice
Federal Trade something.
commission
FT.
possibly
Yeah.
FTC, I
FTC. I
believe.
think
Yeah.
Federal Trade Commission.
So like so it's not necessarily gone through all the way just yet. So again, this is like, hey, they've at least put those documents out there that like whoever, whatever documents they have to file, they file them to purchase
Yeah.
Activision. So again, it hasn't like gone in, man. But um, here's some other big name companies that are out there right now that could have potentially be bought, like studios, right? You have EA that's worth about 38 billion. You have Take Two that's
Ubisoft.
about
Oh yeah. Take Two.
Take Two is 18 billion. Nexon, or Nexon at NEXON, they're 15 billion. Bandai Namco, they're 15 billion. Embracer is 10, like about 11 billion. Uh, Netmarble is 7 billion. Ubisoft is 7 billion. Konami is 6 billion. Is it Square Enix?
Square
Inks?
Enix. Yeah.
Yeah, there's 5.6 billion. Capcom is 4.9 billion, and Sega is 3.6 billion.
What about
So
IO Interactive? Do they fall under somebody else?
you may have to search that in there, but again, those are some other big name companies that potentially could be purchased by Sony
No,
or
they're an
maybe.
independent game developer.
Oh, are they? So they're not really owned by anybody, so they're their own thing. But yeah, no. So some of these guys, could, again, these are big names, right? Like Bandai Namco, they still make.
78 million.
Are they worth 78 million? Oof.
Yeah.
That, yeah, again, that's more than Activision. Somebody'd have to fork up a bunch of money to kind of purchase those games. But
No,
um,
million. 78 million.
oh, 78 million. Okay, now
Yeah.
that's something different.
It's peanuts.
That's, I mean, compared to the Activision,
They're a Danish video game developer, but they're the ones behind Hitman, so
Oh, okay. Um, it's what else?
oh, they were bought by Eidos Interactive. So maybe they're not. Let me see.
Maybe not independent. I did see a funny tweet about this. There's a story and I don't know how real this was. Again, I just saw this on, I think it was on Reddit or something. Some guy was telling a story about how like, oh yeah, he's like I know a guy, or like my friend got, he got a dream or he got his dream job at working at Activision.
Oh, Eidos was bought by Square Enix. So that all falls under Square Enix's umbrella.
Yep, and Square Enix is their own company. Like nobody owns them right now.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so I read this like tweet or something like that, or it was on Reddit, one of the social media platforms I use. But it was saying that this guy got this dream job to work at Activision, and he was so excited to work there. Uh, but 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 he had just left Microsoft 2 weeks earlier. And now it's like go like he has to now go back to Microsoft, or like is now it's like has to work for them and stuff. And he just left them or whatever. So I thought that was funny that he was just like, I got my dream
Right.
job, worked at Activision, I can leave Microsoft. Microsoft was like, nope, you thought, and just brought them back.
Every
Like,
time I try to leave, they pull me back in.
yes, Godfather style. But yeah, no, with that giant, purchase, man. What do you think some of the implications? What do you think about them possibly trying to like, not revamp, but like really push for the metaverse and stuff, right? And kind of what they were explaining is like Meta. is trying to do the same thing, right? Like
Yeah.
Facebook is
Well, I
trying.
just looked up online while you were talking, and Walmart is trying to make their own metaverse also.
Yeah, so with this, with Activision and with Microsoft is trying to do with this metaverse is that they're trying to make it that it's like its own entity, and that like you can still go to Meta, but you would like kind of log out and kind of go back, but it would be two different, and like two different,
Yeah.
or groups or whatever, right? Um, and I think that and so again in the Blue Bar article they were talking about it. They're like, why are they trying to go to virtual reality if it doesn't really sell really well, right? Like
Yeah.
it's kind of almost like a failed business in a lot of ways. You again think of any kind of virtual companies out there that try to go like with the goggles and and everything like that. They're really not that successful, or at least they weren't at some point in time. But something is changing where they're like, you know what, people are starting to do this more, right?
Yeah.
Um, I've seen some I've seen some pretty cool things within that virtual reality aspect, right? Like I remember I saw like a video the other day where like this guy was like, or so there's a company called Rect, right? And Nike just recently purchased them. What this company provides is in these like, and I can't remember the term, but they're like in these spaces that you can kind of go online, right? And you can have an avatar, and you're like talking to people, and it's almost like PlayStation's version of what do they do? Where remember you can kind of be a
Home.
character, kind of like
PlayStation Home.
PlayStation Home, where you can be a character in Conan. So it was kind of similar to that, but there's something on there. And with this Rect company that they just recently purchased, what was explained to me is that you can buy certain, like you can buy copyrights of items and put them in your room within this space or whatever, or like wherever you're at. So for example, if you wanted those new J's, you can actually get like true J's within the world, like within this world, but you have to purchase
Yeah.
them through this thing and then have them within this augmented reality. Which I
So
was
you
like,
wouldn't like physically have them.
but you would
You
have
can't put them
it.
on your own feet, but
You
your
can't put them on
avatar
your,
can put them on their
but your
feet.
avatar could put them on their feet, and they
See,
would
I
be
wouldn't
legit,
like that.
legit
Like
Jordans.
unless it's like half or like a fourth of the price. Like I'm not paying $250 for my avatar to wear some Nikes.
No, for sure. Like I would hope that it would be a reasonable price, like $5. Again,
Yeah,
even five
I
dollars,
could
five
see
dollars
five
is
bucks.
like five
But if
bucks is still
they
pretty
like if
high.
that stuff started going to like the hundreds, I'm like I'm out.
No,
You're
no,
not
for
taking
sure.
$100 from me for my computer person to wear shoes. You know what I mean?
Oh no, for
Like
sure.
that dude could go barefoot for all I care.
No, and I absolutely agree. But at the same time, people like you get made fun of for it, right? Not saying that you wouldn't succumb to the bullying, but like I'll never forget like playing Fortnite. One time again, make the jokes whatever about Fortnite. But I remember like I didn't spend money. I've never spent money on Fortnite. It's a free game, right? So I never
Yeah.
played. So anytime I would go in there, I'd always be considered a no skin, and they would like judge me or whatever. They're like, "Oh, you got killed by a no skin, ha ha!" Or I would die, and they're like, "Ha, take that no skin," and I'm all like, "What the hell?" And I have friends. I'm just like, "Hey man, like, how much money have you spent on freaking Fortnite?" And they're just like, "Oh, about $350." And I'm like, "How do you spend $300?" And again, it's all about the
Yo,
outfits,
I
the
got so much
avatars.
better stuff to buy for $300.
I agree,
Like
but
here, I'll show you something that I would rather spend $300 on.
yes, yes, yes.
And that's not it.
Oh man, it changes colors.
Bro, I would much rather spend $300 on something like this than something for my avatar to run around in. You know what I mean?
No, and I completely agree. But at what point does it? At what point do we get to where like that what you just purchased
Yeah.
that means less than what it does online?
Yeah.
Because it will get to that point where like now your character, your avatar within this world that you're possibly in, right? If you're in this virtual world, that lightsaber is going to be more valuable in the
So like,
game, or in this, or not in the game. It could be just a space where
yeah.
you're just hanging out with other people. Could be more valuable than like what it is, because not like
So,
nobody
so
cares about it in like
so like
in
if you saw
physical.
the actual person, like they took their headset off and they're wearing like some ripped up ass like wife beater, some dirty ass pants, and like no shoes, but their avatar looks like $1,000,000.
And again, I think that will matter more at some point than, like you said,
That's
what you get
craziness though
physically.
to think about
It's
that.
it's insane. It's absolutely insane.
So
But the market is
what I
there.
was thinking when you started saying this was when I worked at Galvanize, the co-working space I was facility manager with, we had a bunch of startups. And one of the startup companies, they worked in the VR space. And what they did was design retail stores in VR. So you're at home, you put on the VR headset, you go to the store, you can walk around, you can pick up the clothes, and then you buy it, and then the physical clothes get shipped to you. whatever you physically bought gets fit, or whatever you bought in the virtual world gets physically shipped to you, which makes sense to me. Like I could see myself like, I don't want to go to the store today, but I can now I'm in the store. I don't have to like get in
Yeah.
the car. I don't have to drive down the street, which and that makes a lot of sense. But to buy it for like an
I would,
avatar,
and I don't want to. Somebody's gonna steal this idea at some point, but I would love to do the same thing. But or I would love to do that, but you would attach it to somebody who's doing your DoorDash or somebody who's
there's
doing your
I,
Instacart or something.
I saw a thing where a guy like he has an iPad. He like has some rig that he puts it over his face, so it's hit this dude, and then your face is on on the the FaceTime or whatever, and so this other your face and the dude is walking you around basically.
With
I
an
saw
iPad.
there's a dude that does that.
But again, that gets you to the that gets you the
Would
right
you do
groceries you
that?
want.
Would you like if someone was like, "I'll pay you like $100 an hour to walk around with the iPad on your face and be me"? Would you, bro? Let's start the company.
Let's do it.
We
It's
have
like,
a
hey,
we have a Detroit office and we have an Austin office.
there it is. It's like,
There's
hey,
only two employees.
it's like you've never been to Austin? Great. FaceTime me. I'm gonna walk around with this thing on my face and make sure you get to
How do
see
you know where
everything.
you're going though? Like, are you like
No,
are you walking around like this?
just do it like this, man. Just do it like
But
this.
this dude had an iPad. This dude had like this on his face. He's like this. Like, how does he know where he's going? Yeah, I can see this because it's smaller. I can still see. I might look like a jackass, but if I'm getting paid $100 an hour,
You're $100 richer jackass. That's what it is. A hundred
right?
dollar hour jackass. That's what you are, man. So there's like, what is Joseph doing? I don't know. That man's been walking around at Zilker Park for the past 3 hours. He's made $300 just to walk around, jog around and stuff. I take a bike, man. I would have a blast. Visit all
On
these
your
places.
longboard.
Dude, yes, on the longboard, I'd do everything. On the longboard, just cruising and hit a rock and then fall off or some shit like that. Like,
Hopefully, you got phone insurance.
yeah, or if I fall off or whatever, and they're just all like, "Hey, man, we're gonna have to deduct $50 because you fell. I can't see the scenery." Like, well, my leg's broken, you jackass. I don't have insurance. It's the start of
Now you got to sit on your board and like push yourself around.
Oh man, good times. But yeah, no. So I think that if that's where it's going, I'm kind of excited for it. But at the same time, I'm gonna be like, it's gonna be an interesting dynamic, right? I don't know
Yeah,
if it would be in our lifetime where they perfect it, but
yeah,
maybe when we're in nursing homes or some shit like that, we can sit there and let like little kids ride longboards for us, so it can make us relive
yeah.
our younger
We
days.
could be in the
Shit.
metaverse pooping our pants in real life.
There it is.
But in the metaverse, we're like young hip dudes.
Exactly. What's the difference between like those guys on Call of Duty who are kicking your ass every time? Again, what do we picture? South Park did it, right? Like South
Yeah,
Park,
the World of Warcraft guy.
it's a it's a fat guy with the beard who has carpal tunnel
Monster
syndrome.
energy drink and everything has the little the wrist guard and everything.
Exactly. Like, what's the difference between that guy and fucking and people online? That's why I always think it's funny when like people, are like in love with people online or whatever. They're just like, I'm just like, man, you've never seen this person. Why are you in love with this voice? You do not know what's on the other side of that
Yeah.
that microphone, man.
Yeah. I mean, to me, aside from that metaverse whole thing, like the games themselves, like I don't think it'll affect me, even if they become Microsoft exclusives, because like literally in probably the past 10 years, I bought two Call of Duty games,
Yeah.
Black Ops and the one that came out when PS5 dropped. So like, am I gonna miss playing Call of Duty? Probably not.
Yeah.
Did I play any of the other ones?
Well, I don't think
I
Call
think
of
I
Duty.
played Diablo, the first Diablo, a
Yeah.
long time ago when it came out on PC. I've never played StarCraft. I've never played World of Warcraft. Um, what else?
Crash
Crash
Bandicoot,
Bandicoot.
Spyro.
I never played either of those. So, like, really, what would I be missing? Even with the Bethesda purchase, I've only ever played Skyrim, and I have Skyrim. So, am I going to miss? Are they going to come and take it from my house because Microsoft owns them now? And be like, nope, you can't have it now because we own this. They're not going to. So, you know, and the upgraded PS5 version just came out too. So it's not like that stopped that from happening.
No,
Like that game that they got coming out this year looks interesting. That one where you can go in space and everything.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called. I know you and I discussed it.
Yeah,
One of
I
the
mean, would I go out and buy a Microsoft Xbox just for that? No. If someone like said, "Hey, you want to borrow my Xbox to play this game?" I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, I'll borrow," but I'm not gonna like go out of my way to get an Xbox to play any of these games because unless they bought like some of the other studios you mentioned, Ubisoft, Take Two, Square Enix, Konami, like if they start buying, if they bought studios where those games are actually played, then maybe I'll have an issue at that point. But
or EA, like if they bought
yeah, or I
Electronic
mean, I
Arts.
haven't even like
Well, the Star Wars
Battlefield.
games are supposed to be
Star
coming
Wars
out.
was the last EA game I bought, so I don't even buy a lot of Star Wars or EA games. I
Yeah.
haven't bought a Madden since like probably Madden '99. Like next year, if he's on the cover, it'll probably be the only other one I'll buy if Madden's
Yeah,
actually on the
same.
cover.
I would too. Yeah.
But I mean, I haven't. I'm more pissed that Sony let Microsoft have access to the show. Like you dirtbags don't deserve this.
It was an exclusive for years, but I think that it's which is funny because I think for Microsoft it'd be stupid for them to make Call of Duty an exclusive because the amount of money they would make. And what's
Yeah,
fucked up is
and I
that
think I saw something earlier where Phil Spencer or whoever the head of Xbox division said that the Call of Duty won't be an exclusive to
yeah,
Microsoft. Like it's still going to be
it's too
multi-platform.
much money. It's too much money for them to miss out on. Like
Yeah,
it's a cash grab. Like they'll never not do that. Now what if Rockstar gets bought by Xbox and they
I'd
start
be
making
kind of
those
mad.
games?
Well, I might, I mean, if they never release another Grand Theft Auto, then no
You don't
skin
care.
under my, no skin off my back,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
who
yeah.
knows if we'll ever get another Grand Theft Auto.
They're making too much money. Again, they're like they're like Fortnite. They're like they're a bunch of those games that are just like in purchase games where like
Yeah,
you want some stuff. Like at this point, they're making so much money off of that. They're like, why make a new game?
yeah.
Why
GTA Online that makes them so much money.
it
They
does.
don't
Like
need
they
they
all
don't
have to
need
do is
to
update the servers every once in a while. Just make a
throw in some
season,
new content every now and again.
and they're fine. They're making
Yeah,
hand over fist when it comes to money and stuff. They don't have to pay nobody. Like they're just it's passive income at this point.
right. They
So
can just sit back and relax. They have like two dudes coming to the office every week, but everyone still makes a
they're
full
like, hey, go
paycheck.
go to the office and make sure the computers are turned on.
Right.
They're on. Awesome. Get your ass back home. Get back on GTA 6 or 5 and play this. Or they probably have GTA 6. They're playing it right now, laughing at all
Right.
of us.
They're
At
laughing
all
at
of us.
all of us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Speaking of like games and stuff, have you seen the Dying Light 2 that's coming out next month?
Yes, I have. Me,
Have
me
you
and
are you interested in that in any at all?
dude, absolutely. I have the first one.
So
Me
I
and Victor
saw
were
that
playing
it's
that.
co-op, so
Yes, it
that's why
is.
I was like thinking, well, if it's co-op, we can all get online and jam out to some zombie killing or something.
Dude, I'm already ahead of you. Yeah, that's one of the games where it's just like as soon as it comes out, I'm buying it. Like I'm not
I'm gonna
even
have to
thinking twice
pre-order
about it.
that.
Dude, pre-order it because it's a co-op game, and I'm starting to lean more towards those than I am like actual like story mode, like games with like adventure games with stories in them. I'm really interested in co-op, like anything I can play
Yeah,
with like multiple people, just because it's a lot more fun. Like don't get me wrong, I
yeah.
still love like a good story. Ghost of Tsushima is wonderful, and I hope they keep making games like that. Which I know you saw that um what is it the zombie game oh one with the motorcycle.
Days Gone
Days
or
Gone. I don't know if you
something.
saw
Yeah,
like who was it the studio come out and say that they made way more money than Ghost of Tsushima, but like they just Sony didn't back them as much
yeah.
or something like that,
Sucks.
which kind of sucks and stuff. But anyways, kind of going back to what we were saying.
So are you
Uh,
getting the standard or deluxe edition?
I don't know what comes in with the deluxe.
Let me see.
I like how we're
It
doing
looks
this
like some
live.
in-game stuff. So you get a Reach for the Sky backpack skin, a Reach for the Sky crossbow skin, outfit for Lawan, which is Rosario Dawson's character. So if you didn't know, Rosario Dawson's in this game,
I did not know that.
and then a paraglider skin for Lawin and Aiden. Oh, what the heck? That's a waste. Please note that Lawin is not a playable character. So you get all these skins for her, but you only get to see her wear.
You're like, well, just gonna get the standard
You get a
edition.
weapon skin, a paraglider skin, and an outfit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get the standard edition if that's it.
That's ridiculous. Like you're paying. 20 extra bucks for a skin on a character that you can't even play?
No, I'm good. You get to change your outfit and watch her talk. That's it.
Right. That's stupid.
It'll be all right.
Yeah, so
But yeah,
yeah, I
no,
might have
I
to get
yeah
in on that.
yeah. If you get that game and we can play. Which speaking
Oh,
of
that's
that,
a
man,
Square Enix game.
yes it is. Yes it is. Speaking of co-op games though, man, me and Victor were playing that game A Way Out.
What is it?
It's called A Way Out. It's
Oh,
where you play like these two characters that are in jail, and then you kind of like break out of jail, and then things happen. Which I thought the entire game took place in jail, but it didn't. And so like you're in
oh
jail,
yeah,
you
that's
break out of
the
jail.
two-person co-op game. Yeah, I know what you're
Yeah,
talking about now.
and you have to like make decisions together. You know,
Yeah, how is that?
it was a lot of fun. He made a really funny joke. They said there's like, holy shit, this is like a Michael Bay movie because it 100% is. Like so there's like scenes where you're like jumping off the cliff and you have to like try to grab your character, the other character's hand or something, and you're
Yeah.
midair. There's like explosions going off behind you. Like it was glitchy in some parts, and like sometimes like the characters would do like glitch, or like the other like sometimes the NPCs would do some weird shit or whatever. But there was like a wonderful scene where there's like it was like a old school like 2D kind of fight action scene where you're like walking in a hallway and like these characters are running at you and you're just like one piecing every single one of them, which is awesome because again it's like a Michael Bay movie because like the guy comes, he's like blocks him and then punches him, and the bodies just like fucking fly 10 feet and like fall on the ground and shit. And there was one where there was like a woman who ran up on him and he like grabs like this light, or like, or I guess it was like this lamp or whatever. He grabs it, turns around and like hits her in the head and knocks her out. Just one punches. Like it just it is ridiculous, Derek, but it is awesome because he's just like one piecing everybody and everybody's just getting knocked out. There's one guy who Superman punched me and I fell down and I like got back up, but I just like pieced him one time and he was out, man. So, but it's a fun game. Like I would highly recommend it for people who want to do a good co-op story. Now again, it is
Yeah.
split screen. Even though the person is not, usually when you play a split screen game, like it's like you and a
The
buddy and
person's like next to you or whatever.
yeah, but this is like this person is like my friend Victor lives in South Texas, so it's like the screen is like split screen the entire time. So that's
Oh,
a
that
little weird. There,
sucks.
there there are some times where it's like one screen, and even though it's split screen, like I can go move and do wherever I want. It's not like some games where it's like if I move too far,
You're
then that
kind of
character
tied to
can't
them
move. They're tied, so
or
it's not.
tethered.
They're not tethered, but it's like that the entire time, and it changes. Like
Yeah.
there's one where it's like it's side by side, it's above, like it kind of moves and stuff, which
Yeah.
is a little weird. But if you can kind of get used to that screen or that camera section or whatever, it's awesome. It's a lot of fun. Highly would recommend it to somebody, and you can also play it local. So, well, I don't know if you can play it like co-op or something like with the person in the screen, but I know you can play local. So possibly that may be a possibility. I didn't try that, but it's a fun game. Like I said, I would recommend it if you want like a good co-op story, and the story's really good. There's a bunch of things you could do. My favorite things, similar to like GTA, and I hate to bring up GTA, but like you can go golf or play darts. Like in this game, you can do some things like that. Like you can play
Oh, okay.
basketball. Like there's certain scenes or certain chapters within the game where you go to like certain areas and it's like a bar or something and you can play like darts, or you can play pool, or I don't know if you can play pool, but I know there's like baseball, there's basketball, there's like a bunch of different little things that you can do with like your other character, and you could throw against, like I think we played baseball, and one of them, which was it's just more like batting practice, where like I had the bat, he had the ball, and we were like throwing like sliders and curveballs and stuff like that, and I got to hit them, and vice versa, we switched, and we played like a basketball game where we were like shooting hoops with one another. You can do weightlifting, or
Oh,
whatever, like
nice.
in prisons, or in pull-ups and stuff. You just have to keep tapping square. Um, and so yeah, cool plot twist at the end, and like in order to survive, there's like it's like you just make sure you could tap square really fucking fast. Throughout the entire game, or through most of like a lot of the game and stuff. But no, it's a good game, man. Would highly recommend to people out there that want a good co-op game to play with somebody and stuff. So, um, but I know, Derek, we're going pretty long in here, man. So I kind of wanted to close it out here a little bit. One of the things I kind of wanted to add to this was like we have our sports section, which I know football is coming to an end, so we're going to talk about that. But before we get into that, man, I got a little hypothetical segment is what I like to call it, where I ask you a hypothetical question and you get to answer it any way you want to. So
All
the
right.
question that I came up for you today is which fictional character would you complete a heist with, and what are you stealing? Now I'm going to give you the fictional characters, so you have to tell me which three you're going to select out of this group, right? And then and then you have to decide what three roles do they play in the heist.
Okay.
And then I'm going to tell you the three things you have to try to steal.
Okay.
So the three characters I got for you, right? So which three characters would you create a or go on a fictional heist with are you have Snoopy from Peanuts, you have Scooby from Scooby Doo, and you have Goofy from, I guess, Disney Goofy. So
Yeah.
I just felt like dogs for some reason. I was just like, you know what? I was looking at my dog and it's inspired me, so I was like, why not? So pick one of those characters that you would take on a heist with you if you had to do a heist.
I would say Snoopy
Okay, why Snoopy, man?
because he knows how to fly. He's the Red Baron.
Okay. Also, he doesn't speak, so he's not saying
Yeah,
anything.
that's true. Also, and he's
Now again, if you were going to take all three of them with you, who is the undercover cop? Who would be the undercover cop? Who would be the muscle, and who would be the weakest link?
oh man. I think Scooby would probably be the weakest link because he gets scared by everything,
Okay.
and he's always wanting Scooby snacks. Unless you're feeding him, he's not going to do what he's supposed to do.
True. True. True.
I think Goofy could be the undercover cop because he can, like, he's played other characters before in his in Disney roles or whatever.
So he's a good guy.
um,
He's always a good guy.
yeah, and he's a dad.
And he's a dad. True. True.
So I guess that makes Snoopy the muscle. I don't know. I think I've seen him bite Charlie Brown before. So
I think you're right. I love how this is going, man. I didn't think Snoopy would be that guy, but now that more that you're kind of talking about, I'm like, damn, Snoopy's that guy. All right, man. So what are you stealing? Here are your three options: Master Splinter's robe, Doctor Doom's hood and cape, or Arthur's glasses. And this is Arthur the Anteater, but he's visiting the Powerpuff Girls. Powerpuff Girls.
Powerpuff Girls. Does Doctor Doom ever take his stuff off?
Yeah, I don't think he does.
Like, how are you going to steal something that someone's wearing?
Maybe he's asleep. Maybe he's sleeping. I don't know.
What was the first one again?
Master Splinter's robe.
His robe. I'm sure he's got to take that off sometimes. I'm pretty sure we saw a unclothed rat walking around in Ninja Turtles sometime at some point.
Or I don't
But
know.
then you got the four brothers to deal with the Ninja Turtles.
You fucking right. And then Doom is just an evil villain.
Yeah.
And then Arthur
But
Anteater.
I'm sure he's got minions, and and his castle is probably heavily guarded.
And you got Snoopy with you. And remember, you have the other two. Possibly.
And I don't want to mess with the Powerpuff Girls.
We're leaving Arthur out of this. All right, so you got Doctor Doom's and his minions, or you got to fight the fucking Ninja Turtles. And you got Snoopy with you
Right.
in this situation. Or you know what? You can take all three. You have all three of them with you. So.
Yeah, I would probably have to go with Splinter's robe.
Oh, nice. Nice choice. Now again, why Splinter's robe, man? You don't know what I mean. You don't.
I think it'd be easier to get past the turtles.
Okay.
By creating a diversion with the Foot Clan or some other BS. I think Doctor Doom's just too powerful on his own.
True.
And then and then add that to whatever minions he has around his castle, and I'm sure his castle is probably pretty heavily booby trapped.
Of course.
I think it'd be easier to sneak into a sewer and steal a robe and get back out.
All right, man. That's the segment for this episode. I just kind of wanted to get that, man. I love the fact that you said that, Goofy would be an undercover cop. You're right. He's a snitch. I wouldn't trust him either. Or no, sorry, Goofy, yeah. And then Scooby, you're right, man. Scooby Snacks, he gets scared too easily. That was a terrible pick on my part. But Snoopy, man, that was a good one. Snoopy will forever be a G. I don't think Snoop Dogg would have named himself after the character if it wasn't for a reason. So, and I don't even know if that's true. I'm just making that shit up. But why not?
I read Snoop's autobiography that he wrote way back in like the early 2000s, but I don't remember him saying where he came up with the name from.
I don't think I want to say that it was inspired by that, but I could be completely wrong. I want to say I heard something recently about that, but again, I could be completely wrong. But I just love to tell the tale because, like, again, Snoop Dogg, Snoopy, like, they're both dogs, they're both Snoop, like. Yeah, he would be a real OG, triple OG. And then of course the Ninja Turtles. For me, I don't know. I would go after Doctor Doom. Like you said, it'd be fucked up. I'm not messing with the Powerpuff Girls. Those girls are gonna fuck you up in so many
Right.
different levels, right? But I would go for Doctor Doom because I don't want to mess with the Ninja Turtles, man. I feel like those guys are, all four of them will mess you up and stuff. Um, so yeah, man, Doctor Doom would be my person. All right, cool. The last segment, as always, man. Let's talk some sports, Derek. It is the wild card, or last weekend was the wild card weekend. There were some great things. You're wearing a T-shirt, man. I wore a jersey, although I'm not a fan. I'm not. I just told you I would root for them that weekend because they were facing the evil empire. And when people would ask me, they were like, "Joseph, you're not even a fan. Why are you wearing the shirt?" I was just like, "Look, man, when you have the option to join the Rebel Alliance or the evil Sith Empire. You join the Rebel Alliance. You don't fuck with the Sith.
Right.
You don't fuck with the evil Empire. You stay away from them. You join the right side, and I joined the right side. I joined the Jedi's, man. But anyways, let's go through the scores. So the first game that was on Saturday was the Raiders and Bengals, man. 26-19. The Bengals took that win. Was that surprising? Were you shocked?
No,
Were
not
you
really.
surprised?
Nah.
Was it
I
you had
mean,
you the Bengals are playing pretty nice
The
right now?
Bengals have been playing pretty good all season, really. I mean, they had their little hiccups there here and there, but I mean, all in all, they're a decent team. Like um, and the Raiders have just been going through so much this year.
Yeah. They need a fresh start next year.
They pretty much limped into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
think
I
sorry,
wasn't
go
too
for it.
surprised by that outcome.
Yeah, I think the Bengals, I don't think this is their year. Like I think they're going to get bounced in the next game, but
Yeah,
I think next year and the following year they're going to be dangerous. You're going
yeah,
to have to really watch out for them because I think that they're going to really make a push for that Super Bowl, man, and they could possibly bring Cincinnati a Super Bowl, right? So
yeah,
they got the team for it. So we'll see. The second game was the Patriots and the Bills. The Bills, holy
yeah.
smokes,
They went off. Which
they
I'm not too surprised about that either, being that it's Mac Jones is a rookie. This is his first time in the playoffs. His first NFL season. Even with Bill Belichick coaching you, he's not out there on the field playing. All the expertise and experience he has, he's not out there. He can only tell the team what to do, and they have to still go out there and execute. So I'm not too surprised. The score is more surprising than the loss because the Bills just went off. Like they had
yeah.
something to prove. They were like, we're tired of being the doormat of the AFC East, along with the Jets and the Dolphins. So
No,
one of
I
us
mean,
is going to come out better this year, and
they were
they
the
proved
laughing
it.
stock for a while within that NFC, AFC East.
AFC East, yeah,
Yeah, so for them to kind of come back and like really just demolish them, and it's like I like Bill Belichick as a coach. Like I think he's great. Yeah, his demeanor sucks sometimes in the way he talks to the media or whatever. But hey, man, it's a give and take sometimes, right? But I think of him as like a chess player, right? Like a master
yeah,
chess player,
yeah.
right? Like somebody who can you know put all the pieces and stuff like that out on the board and can strategize, and it is a genius on there. And then the Bills whipped out a machine gun, shot that fucking board, and we're like, "Yeah, guys, like you f your strategy because your players
Right.
suck,"
We're not
kind of thing.
playing
And
chess this game.
we're playing checkers, mother truckers, and they got that machine gun and went at it, right? So, I think it's kind of it kind of goes back to them just like being able to kind of um, stick to the game plan, but also like you said, like Mac Jones is still really young within his role, and for him to kind of like help push that team, like it's not going to happen overnight. Like this isn't something that's
Yeah.
gonna it's gonna take some time, right? And
Right.
we're gonna see like where he's gonna kind of take the team here in the future. So, but yeah, so that was Saturday night, and then Sunday we had the Eagles and the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers 31-15. Not too surprising. Was
Yeah,
not
that was not a
surprised.
surprise at all.
Brady is who Brady is, but he's gonna have a challenge next week. But yeah, and then the game of the week in your eyes, it was the 49ers and the Cowboys. 49ers 23, Cowboys 17.
I was just happy with the outcome. Like to see all those Dallas fans like in the stands look like they're about to cry the whole game, and then like when it looks like they had a glimmer of hope to have the rug pulled out from under them, that was just topping on the cake.
Yeah, the Cowboys, man, they're in my backyard, right? I live in their backyard, so they have a lot of fans out here, and so for me to kind of just see them lose, I was just like, I was happy because they talk so much smack all the time. Good people, but like I said, it's you sometimes when you don't like a team, you gotta talk trash. They talk trash to you, and you're just like, they
Right.
suck. So, um,
There was some there's some Twitter handle, and they're a huge Cowboy fan, and they were talking crap all week, and they were saying that what's his name, Micah Parsons is is like way better than in his position or for the team than Debo Samuel is for the Niners in his position.
yeah, that could be argued in Debo's way, not the other way. But Michael Parsons is good. Like
Yeah, he's
I
good. I'm not gonna bring anything away from him. He's good.
yeah.
He's good at his role. He's good at what he does.
But is
And
he as important as Debo on that other side? I don't think he is. Like I think he's important, and I think he's definitely
I mean,
can
that
be a
dude
game changer.
Debo ran for what, 8 touchdowns this year, threw for a touchdown, and then caught a handful more. How many other players did that this year?
None. Which is surprising that the Niners have a wide receiver that can also run, which is cool. I like it. I like the game planning around that, man. So I think
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. But yeah, Niners, Cowboys. You know what's very funny. Again, you could probably speak on this a little bit more. A lot of people they were like, oh, like after the game was over, right? Just people at work and people that I kind of associate with sometimes. They were like, oh man, the Niners and Green Bay, they're gonna get smashed. I was just like, do you guys not remember the game in the regular season? Like they completely forgot about that, man. So how do you feel your Niners are going to do against Green Bay? Because again, I think if I remember correctly, it
I
took
mean,
like a last minute drive for
it was a
Aaron
30
Rodgers.
second. They had 30 seconds left, and Aaron Rodgers drove down. I mean, which speaks a lot for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he had 30 seconds left on the clock and marched down the field and won. I mean, they won by a field goal. He didn't score a touchdown or anything, but he marched them close enough field goal range.
But like,
But that
but the
wasn't
Niners
more.
were
But
that
it's not
close.
100% like it was just Aaron Rodgers. That was some of that fell on Niners defense. Just was gas by the last 30 seconds of the game. You've been playing the whole game. It was a you know a dogfight the whole game. So part of that was the Niners defense was gassed by that. At that point.
Yeah, but yeah, but a bunch of
But
people
if
are
you look
saying
at the
that.
playoffs, the last 3 playoff games they played, the Niners have won every one of those. The Niners have beaten Aaron Rodgers 3 times in the playoffs.
So that's kind of that's the point that you're making. But also my point is just like the Niners aren't just a pushover team. Like
Yeah,
Green Bay isn't just gonna like blow them out 47 or 42 to what is it 47 to 17. Like the Niners aren't gonna go in there and just be pushed over by Green Bay. Like I don't see that happening. Like
yeah,
I don't, man. Again, I'm not a Niners fan, but I think the game was so close during the regular season that they're going to bring it to Green Bay, and they're not
yeah.
going to be a pushover. So when people are kept saying they're like, "Oh yeah, the Niners are going to be blown out," I'm like, "Do you guys not watch football? Am I like I don't know. I'm just like
Right.
maybe they're just whatever. Like they think that the Packers are just like this all around greatest team ever. It's just like no, they
Right.
got Aaron Rodgers. He's a great player. He has great team, great players around his team and stuff. But
And they
I don't know.
also have one of the worst rushing defenses. So now they got to deal with Elijah Mitchell, who's been killing it as a rookie,
Oh man, well never
and
mind.
Debo Samuel, who's like not even a running back, but he kills it in that position.
Yeah, we'll have to see how Jimmy G's shoulder is, man. I forgot that
Yeah.
he injured it, so that's gonna be interesting. Chiefs and Steelers, not surprising. I love the fact that you sent me a meme the week before, and it was just like
Invitation to Ben Roethlisberger's retirement party hosted by the
retire.
Chiefs.
Yeah, yeah. The Chiefs, oh my gosh, they like picked their foot up and they're like, oh, we got gum in our shoe and took it off and threw it in trash. Like it was so bad. It was
Yeah.
so bad. Like the Chiefs look like who they were a few years ago. Or like the year
Yeah.
they won the Super Bowl, that's what they look like, and they look
Yeah.
scary. They look terrifying, and I'm all like, but I wouldn't be mad. Do we want them to win the Super Bowl? No, we want a different team. I'm sure you want the Niners to win the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
But if the Chiefs make it back and win another one for Andy, man, I'd be real happy. Like
Yeah.
if it's not this year, I wouldn't be mad at that. Again, I don't have anybody. I'm not rooting for anybody in the playoffs for me. Me personally, right? My team, fuck, they're the third worst team in the NFL right now, right? So or the bottom three worst teams in the NFL right now. So So with them, like I wouldn't be mad at seeing Andy Reid just for all those years that he was trying to win them, and Philadelphia took those guys to the NFC Championship so many years, and they just even when they finally made it, Tom Brady was like, "Nah, fam." So I would
Right.
love to. I would
Kick
love for
rocks.
yeah, I would love to see him to win another one, but I wouldn't be mad if they win it. But again, I don't. I wouldn't mind. The Cardinals and the Rams game, 11-34. That one took me by surprise.
Yeah, I thought Cardinals would put up more of a fight.
Something.
They kind of went out there and
Something.
just laid down, and rolled over.
They said, "Hey man, we're gonna take a nap. Go ahead and just rub our belly, and we're gonna let you guys keep scoring and
Yeah.
scoring." It was insane. I was very very surprised. Here's some one thing that we didn't get to talk about a few weeks ago. And then we'll kind of close it out here in a second. Is how do you feel about the extension of the games in the NFL?
I mean, like the added week, or
The added week. Are you a fan or not a fan?
I mean, I don't mind an extra week of football.
I don't mind it, but the old school person in me hates it for the records.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
think
because now players can have like one extra game to break any records. Like, remember that year the AP was like 20 yards away from beating the rushing record? But if he would have had an extra game, he would have blown that record out of the water.
again, and that record has not been touched. And
Yeah.
the funny thing is too, I think Eric Dickerson did it in like 12 games or 10 games.
Yeah.
Like something absurd. And same thing with Jerry
Yeah.
Rice. Like Cooper Cup, like, oh yeah, Cooper Cup's about to break, Jerry Rice's record. And I'm all like, well, that's not fair. The man got an extra game. Like, how the hell
Yeah.
is, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm not, I love football, and I'm glad they added another week just as a fan. But then, like, now looking back at it, I'm all like, oh shit, these guys are gonna break so many records, and it's because they get to play more. They get to play more games. Where
Yeah.
some of these people did it with less games during
Yeah.
some of these
Yeah.
seasons, man. Which is absurd. You're just like, you hear about this stuff, and you're like, damn. Imagine if Jerry Rice had an extra week. Imagine if he
Yeah.
had 18 games. Imagine if Eric Dickerson or Jim Brown or somebody like that had an
Barry
additional.
Sanders,
Barry Sanders
Walter
just had like
Payton.
2 more games or something like that, man. Those guys would have just shattered these records. Anyways,
Yeah.
that's my soapbox. I'm off of it. I just wanted to mention that, man. That like whenever they said Cooper Cup, I was just like, Cooper Cup's a good wide receiver. I don't think he's not Jerry Rice type of receiver. So get that out of here.
Yeah.
Like kick rocks with that. So
Who are the AFC matchups this weekend?
so it is. I'll tell you here in the divisional round. So the Bills are playing the Chiefs, which is going to be a
Okay.
great game because that's a
Oh
rematch game.
yeah.
That's a rematch game for
That'd be
them.
an awesome game.
Titans and the Bengals.
Oh, I forgot the Titans were even in the play.
Everybody forgot. Everybody forgot.
So
So,
what are your predictions for those two games?
all right,
I
let's
think the
go.
Bengals will beat the Titans.
If Derrick Henry's cleared to play, I don't know, man.
Oh,
And I
that's
think
right. Is he coming? Is he able to come back?
I think
I
he's.
thought he was like done.
I think they said today that he cleared practice, like played a practice or something. You may need to look that up, man, to fact check me there. But I think if he comes back, but again, he's not healthy. He hasn't played football in however many weeks. He hasn't ran that much. So, but again,
Yeah.
I think even if he's there, he's still a threat in some capacity. But the Titans are better than what we give them credit for. Now, again, they did lose to my team, but whatever. And they almost lost to them. They almost lost to them again at the end of the season. But we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, no, I think, but I like the Bengals. I like the Bengals,
Yeah.
depending on like the status of Derrick Henry. But I do like the Bengals on that one. Man, I'm gonna go with you this week, man. I love an underdog story. I'm gonna go with the 49ers over the Packers. Like I think that the 49ers are gonna get their redemption. They're gonna go up there to Green Bay and be like, hey, f you, Aaron Rodgers. Like I'm going after you guys. Like I'm not.
Right.
I'm not. We're not going to be pushovers. And I always like a team that is like a lower seed and they have to play that extra game because I think sometimes taking a week off just messes with your rhythm, man. It messes with your
Yeah.
mojo. So some teams are good at being able to prepare and plan for the team that they're about to play, but some teams aren't. So I don't know, man. It's going to be very interesting to see. But I think the Niners are just they got that fire. And again, depending on Jimmy G's shoulder, man, I think they could take that game.
Yeah.
Um,
It would be a lot more of a running game this week for sure.
I would hope so. Rams and Buccaneers. That's a toss up for me, honestly, man. Like they get to play in Tampa. Um, the Rams are they're back and forth. They're too up and
Yeah.
down sometimes. Sometimes they're on fire and they can't be beat. Now, I don't see a single team beating them, but then they lay an egg against a team that isn't worth anything. So,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna play. I'm gonna pick the Bucks. I think they're gonna be more consistent. Do you see Bruce Arians? get fined for smacking his
Oh
player
yeah,
on the
for
helmet.
smacking his player on the helmet.
So yeah, man. So my game so far, the teams I'm picking is like I really want to go with the Titans, but I'm gonna go Bengals. I think the Bengals again, they're young and hungry. I'm gonna pick the Niners, Bucks over the Rams, but I think that's gonna be a very close game, and I think the Niners and Packers game is gonna be really close. Bills and Chiefs.
That's a hard one. That's a really hard one.
Mm.
It's going to come down to defense on it. Whoever has the better defense, I
Well,
think.
according to Vegas, Tennessee should be winning. They got the under. Green Bay has is a 5.5 favorite, which is kind of high. Um,
I think it went up like 3 points when they found out Jimmy G had a shoulder injury.
yeah, that I think that's the highest one in the playoffs right now. Rams and Buccaneers, they're the under three on three. So again, that means it's going to be a pretty close game. And I think, but the closest one is KC on 1.5.
Mm,
They're under on 1.5. So that means that they're gonna have to bring it.
yeah,
It's gonna be a close game. But if I had to pick a team, man, I'm going Chiefs. Like I'm scared of the Bills though. I'm scared of the Bills, but I'm going Chiefs. I just love Mahomes. I think the guy is a
yeah.
freak of nature with his arm, man. So if it comes back to a
I
shootout, I think Mahomes will get it. But if Bills defense shows up, Josh Allen's gonna have to show up. Like he's gonna
right.
have to run. He's gonna have to throw. He's gonna have to play a Michael Vick esque type of like game to
Yeah,
beat them because the Chiefs like Mahomes can throw with his arm. They got a good running game. Their defense is they can play really good sometimes, and then sometimes again they'll give up a bunch of points. If it comes to a shootout, the Chiefs got it. But if it's like a hard grind, nose to nose kind
and
of
with
game,
Josh
like
Allen's size, he might be able to like push around some of their
oh,
defenders.
absolutely, absolutely. So it's a scary game, but I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. But I may be eating my words on
I
that one, man.
I I like to see the Chiefs lose just because I like seeing his brother like
Oh
his
God,
brother and
yeah.
his girlfriend or fiance or whatever, and his mom. They get so mad whenever the Chiefs lose. Like I like to see that.
So who's your picks? Bengals, Titans.
Bengals,
Who's your picks on Niners and Packers? What am I asking?
Niners.
Rams and Buccaneers.
I'm gonna say Bucks. I don't
I
think
don't I don't want another
I don't
Brady
see
Super Bowl.
Stafford beating Tom Brady.
Okay, yeah, I don't want another.
But I mean, I don't know if I would prefer San Francisco to play the Rams because they beat them both times this year.
Niners beat the Rams or Rams beat the Niners.
The Rams haven't beaten the Niners in like 3 seasons. They've gotten swept every season for like the last 3 seasons.
Something
So that
about
might be a better route for them. But then they would have to go to LA. But they just won in LA 2 weeks ago. So they
yeah,
beat LA to make it to the playoffs.
true. Bills and Chiefs. You going Bills?
I'm gonna say with the Bills.
All right, man. All right, cool, cool, cool. All right, so those are our picks for the week, man. Love talking football with you, and love being here with the We Three Bros podcast. I almost forgot the name of our podcast. That's a terrible, terrible host here. But
I mean, it has been a
co-host.
month.
You say what? It's been a
It
month. Yeah,
has been a
co-host.
month.
We gotta work out the cobwebs and stuff. But no, yeah, man. So Derek, as always, man, do your thing. I'm just gonna say thank you everybody for listening. We're glad to be back for season 2. Can't wait for the next episode. But Derek, you know what to do, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for being here again. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for being patient with me getting back from overseas and clearing up all this jet lag and just getting back into the swing of things. We have so much more to talk about, but we've already run over an hour today, hour and a half today, so we don't want to keep you guys forever. So come back next week and the following weeks because we got so much content to go over the stuff we watched over the past month, and it's going to keep building up with all the stuff that's still coming out. We still got some Boba Fett to talk about, some Peacemaker, a bunch of movies that came out. Luckily we were able to cover Spider-Man before this, but The Matrix came out. There's been few other movies that have came out. So yeah, we encourage everyone to come back, keep listening to us. We got a bunch of great stuff in store. Brand new season. This is the first episode of season 2, so we're getting back into the swing of things. So thanks everybody for coming and listening. And if you're listening on on one of the podcast platforms, or if you're watching us on YouTube, just thanks for stopping by. So yeah, you got anything else?
Yeah, man, I forgot to tell you, me and my boy Bigfoot kind of hung out on Christmas, but that's a story
Oh,
for
so
another time.
he finally came by,
He finally came by, man. I was
but
out in
no
the
pictures.
woods.
He wouldn't take no pictures.
No, 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 no photos. Oddly
He,
enough,
he he had you sign an NDA and all that.
yeah, all I can say is that he came over. That's it. I can't say anything else by that. I was out in the woods taking a pee, and he snuck up on me, and I got scared, so I kind of peed on him a little bit,
Did you
and
pee on him?
so he had to come inside, and he had to like wash his leg real quick, so it's fine.
Well, I guess with that, we will see you guys on the next episode next week. Have a good weekend, everybody.